A mile beneath the waves, the pressure could crush a submarine and every living thing. Yet somehow, it does not. Down here, creatures stretch to monstrous proportions. A crab has legs wider than your car, a worm taller than a human, a siphonophore running 150 feet long. Scientists like Paul Yancey and Sylvia Earle say these giants reveal a terrifying scientific truth. The harshest forces on Earth create life on a scale we barely comprehend. What else is growing in the trench where no human has ever seen it? Every 10 meters down, the water adds another atmosphere of pressure, about 14.7 pounds per square inch. At 1,000 meters, the force pressing in from all sides reaches 100 atmospheres, or nearly 1,500 pounds per square inch, enough to flatten most human-made machines. The abyssal zone begins at 3,000 meters, where the pressure climbs to 300 atmospheres, over 4,400 pounds per square inch. Even deeper, in the Hadal trenches, depths of 7,000 meters mean 700 atmospheres, more than 10,000 pounds per square inch. These numbers are not just statistics, they define the boundaries of survival. Each additional meter is another layer of crushing force, squeezing every cell, every protein, every drop of water. In these extremes, even a steel hull can buckle. Scientists at NOAA and Woods Hole use the rule of thumb, 1 atmosphere for every 10 meters. This simple conversion anchors every calculation, every dive, every attempt to understand how anything can live, let alone grow, in a world where the pressure never lets up. In the late 1980s, biologist Paul Yancey began testing tissue samples from deep-sea fish, searching for a chemical explanation for their survival under crushing pressure. What he found was a pattern. The deeper the fish, the more trimethylamine N oxide, TMAO, filled their muscles and blood. At the surface, a typical fish might carry 20 to 50 millimoles of TMAO per kilogram of tissue. Descend to 2,000 meters, and that number rises into the low hundreds. By 7,000 meters, Hadal's snailfish muscle can approach 400 millimoles per kilogram. This steady climb forms a nearly straight line when plotted against depth, a chemical shield scaling with the weight of the water above. TMAO acts as a molecular brace, locking proteins in their proper shape so enzymes keep working even as pressure threatens to unravel them. But this shield has a cost. Every extra unit of TMAO increases the internal osmotic load, pushing fish closer to the point where their own fluids match the saltiness of seawater. Yancey's samples revealed not just adaptation, but a hard boundary, one measured in millimoles and meters, not imagination. In the deep cold, time stretches out in ways that reshape life itself. Greenland sharks drift through the near-freezing waters of the North Atlantic, growing at a pace almost too slow to measure. Tagging studies by NOAA and Woods Hole researchers tracked these giants for years, sometimes decades, and the data tells a story of patience. Adults add only a few millimeters in length each year. Radiocarbon dating of islands proteins, molecules locked in place since birth, reveals that some Greenland sharks alive today began their lives centuries ago, before the rise of modern nations. The best estimates place their lifespans somewhere between 200 and 400 years, with outliers pushing even further. In these conditions, slow metabolism is not a weakness, but an advantage. Every heartbeat is stretched, every cell divides at a crawl, and the energy saved goes into slow, steady growth. Over centuries, this glacial pace adds up, producing creatures that can reach 5 meters or more. In the deep ocean, cold and time are allies, turning scarcity into size and patience into power. Far below the sunlit surface, the rules of survival start to favor size. In the deep sea's constant cold, a larger body holds on to heat and stretches every calorie further. This is the heart of what biologists call Bergmann's rule. In colder environments, bigger animals have an edge because they lose less energy to the surrounding water. The deeper you go, the more this principle holds. Large bodies have a lower mass-specific metabolic rate, meaning each gram of tissue burns less fuel than it would in a smaller animal. In a place where food is scarce and temperatures hover just above freezing, efficiency is everything. The Japanese spider crab stands as a living example. With legs that can span up to 3.8 meters, longer than most cars, this crab patrols the dark slopes off the coast of Japan, using its size to cover more ground and store more energy between meals. Its massive shape is not just for show. It is an adaptation for making the most out of every rare bite. Deep-sea gigantism, in many cases, is less about aggression or defense and more about squeezing the maximum life out of minimal resources. Evolution in these depths rewards those who can do more with less. Hydrothermal vents pierce the ocean floor, releasing jets of mineral-rich water that can reach 350 degrees Celsius. In these dark oases, chemical energy replaces sunlight. Here, bacteria thrive by converting hydrogen sulfide and methane into organic matter, a process called chemosynthesis. This steady, concentrated energy supply fuels an explosion of life in the otherwise barren deep. Giant tube worms, Riftia pachyptila, tower up to 2.4 meters tall in dense colonies, their white plumes waving in the current. Instead of mouths or stomachs, these worms house symbiotic bacteria inside their bodies. The bacteria process vent chemicals, feeding their hosts directly. The result is rapid growth and massive size, almost unheard of elsewhere on the abyssal plain. Researchers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, and OceanX have filmed these vent oases with remotely operated vehicles and submersible cameras. Explorers and scientists such as Robert Ballard, Sylvia Earle, Paul Yancey, and Edith Widder have helped reveal these ecosystems. MBARI's remotely operated vehicles have captured scenes where tube worms form living forests, packed so tightly that the seafloor disappears beneath them. Unlike the slow, scattered giants of the open deep, these sessile animals grow fast and large, drawing on a constant stream of chemical power. Around each vent, the rules of scarcity flip, energy is abundant, and size follows. But only within the narrow halo of these chemical springs. Just a few meters away, the world returns to darkness and hunger. Carcasses drifting down from above, the remains of whales, sharks, and fish are rare prizes on the abyssal plain. When one lands, the seafloor stirs to life. Giant isopods, armored and pale, can reach 0.5 meter in length, dwarfing their shallow water cousins. These scavengers patrol the darkness, drawn by chemical traces that signal a sudden feast. In a world where meals may be separated by months or years, size is survival. Larger bodies mean bigger energy reserves and the strength to outlast lean times. Amphipods, too, have followed this path. Deep-sea species can grow to 34 centimeters, over 10 times the size of those found near the surface. Some gather in swarms, stripping a carcass to the bone in hours. Others roam alone, waiting for the next opportunity. The strategy is simple but ruthless. Eat as much as possible, store the calories as fat, and endure the long stretches of famine that define life in the deep. Every giant isopod or amphipod is a testament to this episodic feast or famine cycle. Their hulking forms are shaped by scarcity, not abundance, and by the relentless need to be ready when the next shadow falls to the sea floor. A pulse of blue-green light flares in the darkness, then fades, caught by Edith Widder's eye in the sea camera, designed to lure and reveal creatures invisible to the naked eye. At depths where no sunlight reaches, bioluminescence becomes both beacon and camouflage. Widder's system records a ghostly outline, a siphonophore stretching over 45 meters, longer than a blue whale, its body undulating in the current. On another expedition, OceanX scientists synchronize wide-beam sonar with remotely operated vehicles, tracking the shadow of a colossal squid, 10 to 14 meters from fin to tentacle tip, slipping past the edge of the sonar's sweep. These moments, captured by technology built to withstand the depths, hint at a world where the giants are seen only in fragments, their full scale almost impossible to grasp. Only about a quarter of the world's ocean floor has been mapped with modern sonar. That leaves tens of millions of square kilometers, especially in the deepest trenches, still shrouded in uncertainty. Robert Ballard, who found the Titanic, calls these regions the last truly unexplored frontiers on Earth. Sylvia Earle points out that entire habitats may exist in these unmapped voids, supporting forms of life no one has ever recorded. In the Hadal depths, the scale of what remains unseen dwarfs anything humans have surveyed. The unknown here is measured in thousands of vertical meters in an endless black expanse. 3/4 of the seafloor remain unmapped, and every new scan reveals life outside our expectations. As technology pushes deeper, so does the horizon of the unknown. The giants in the dark aren't relics. They are reminders that Earth's greatest mysteries still lurk below. What would you dare to discover?